I mean, every once in a while, I'm like, especially in public, I forget. I'm like, oh, why did I do this to myself?
Great. The most textured, like invasively aggressive big bottle can of
It was during, I think, town hall number 1. I got it, and I was holding it, and I was like, because as it empties, it gets weirder, and I was like, oh no, what have I done to myself?
I love it.
That'll be fun. I hope this mic wasn't on.
Yeah, I was like, what the too?
Very on story. Howdy.
It's so funny. I forgot.
Whoops.
Yeah. No, God bless.
I
I think he's busy. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that he's doing his thing. I didn't get into Pleasance, which makes me sad. But I've always decided that I don't think I want to do Edinburgh this year. I think I want to
You do that in bar?
I want to, right? I applied to 3 venues this year. Pleasance, Assembly Rooms, and not Silk Balloons, but under Development.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I didn't get to Pleasance. I haven't heard from the other two.
Can you please touch base? Because that's how I got it. So I got Silk Balloon because I bothered them. You have to keep bothering because they
Email? I mean, I was on
email.
like, but if you get like support at,
Don't worry.
I get dramatic, like you say.
Of course, because it's so sensitive subject. Because you want to do an ASAP and they don't tell you. But they have to tell you. But they've been so busy, so they don't know who's upon who. So they've been kind of busy, so you should follow them. But I always ask something more information. Like let's say, I updated some status in this one and so and I put recommendation letters and so next and they reply. Also, if you have anybody who knows
We are live, everyone. Heads up. All right. Are we ready? Oh, guys, we are live. You're good. All right, we ready?
Yes,
Okay. Hi, y'all. Should we get this thing going? Here we go. Hello. Woo! Welcome. Hi, everyone. Are we excited about Fringe? Yes. Good. I love it. Yes, welcome to Festival Expectations. This one is a biggie, and this one is an exciting one because now we get to start talking about June, which is what you've been working for this whole time. So I'm so happy to have y'all here. My name is Lois. My pronouns are she, her. I'm your co-festival director. My other co-festival director is Ellen right here. We love Ellen. A visual description, I'm a white woman with mid-length, dark, or kind of light brown hair these days, wearing a teal Hollywood Fringe shirt from last year, black jeans, and behind us you can see a set, some sort of that's what I got. So I want to start out today by acknowledging that the Hollywood Fringe acknowledges that we are on the unceded lands of the Tongva, Quiche, Gabrielinos, and Gabrielinos. Our land acknowledgement is a formal statement that recognizes and honors the indigenous communities past, present, and emerging. Our statement serves as a practice as we continue to further our commitment and connection to the indigenous communities past, present, and emerging. Remember, we are live streaming and recording, so hello everyone watching from home. I think you were here. Hi everyone! And thank you to Haverty for setting this all up for us. We really appreciate it. I'll add, yes, if you were looking for a videographer or photographer or live streamer for your Fringe event, Haverty is in our participant packet offering a discount. So check that out. I'm going to keep pushing the participant packet in any way I can. Join us on the chat. So if you are joining from home, please join us on the chat. Ellen is on there ready to answer all of your questions. We want you to get involved in community no matter where you're joining from, in person or at home. If you have any accessibility needs that are not currently being met, please make sure to tell a member of staff here today or at any time during the festival run. Reach us at support@hollywoodfringe.org and we'll be happy to help you out in any way we can. Before we dive into our wonderful panel, we're so excited to talk with these experts of Fringe. I'm going to talk at you for just a little bit because this is the last in-person workshop before we really kick this thing off, and there's a lot to cover since I know we're kind of at that anticipation, a little like anxiety-riddled stage of the festival. So we're gonna talk through a few things, and then I'm gonna hand it over, I promise. So the last event, like educational event we have coming up, is going to be on May 2nd at 7 o'clock. Until 8 o'clock. It's a Zoom workshop that's all about navigating the Fringe website. So if you are a little anxious about the technical side of the Fringe process, or just in general aren't super comfortable in a tech platform, please join me for that workshop. It is basically a Zoom session where I'm going to share my screen and we're going to walk through every step of the website. That's going to be ticketing, that's going to be will call, that's going to be giving comps, discount codes, all of the things that you're going to do on the tech side to make your Fringe so successful and super easy in June. So please join me for that. That one is going to be incredibly informative. And then what happens on May 1st? Does anyone know? Yes! We're almost there, and then we can start really like just diving in and getting ready for full performance mode. I want to like give you a heads up. There's a lot of tickets that go on May 1st, and then there's going to be a kind of a lull, right? Like I feel like there's always this like, okay, tickets on sale, and then everyone expects to sell out day one. I want to just name it and let everyone know that that rarely happens, and that's okay. People, especially in the COVID world we live in, they don't buy tickets a month in advance. So just know going in, if it's May 3rd and you haven't, sold 100 tickets yet, nobody has. So don't panic, and I just want to kind of give you that breath of fresh air now so you don't have to panic later. After May 1st, our big events coming up, we have previews, June 1st through the 6th, and then our opening night party on June 7th. So please save the date. June 7th is going to be a really important day. That's when we get to celebrate being in community together and what we've all done to get here. The official festival, of course, takes place June 8th through the 25th, with our closing awards and party on June 25th, right at the end of the evening. And I'm going to go ahead and announce, so these two big parties that we throw every year is going to be June 7th and June 25th, opening and closing. This year, we are so thrilled to announce that we are going to be having those events at the Bourbon Room on Hollywood Boulevard. This is the first time we partnered with this amazing venue space, and we are so thrilled to get to celebrate Fringe in this new space. It's like a huge venue, like 600, 700 people fit in this space. There's going to be different rooms, so there's going to be a large dance floor room where there's going to be a DJ and dancing, but then we have more casual, like chill hang areas where you can market your show and talk to each other. So there's really going to be something for everyone in this space, which gets us really excited. There's also, of course, a full bar. There's a full menu until 9 p.m. and lots of other exciting things in store. So please save the date. Tickets will go on sale for those two events on May 1st as well. That's sort of about that. That's important. Okay, networking opportunities coming up. Has anyone been to office hours? I love it. Yes, good. This is a part of the Fringe experience. If you haven't joined, it seems this side of the room is not super office hours friendly. Come next time. Y'all, I promise it's important. Slow down. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're gonna go back to my old rule. If I start to talk too fast, which I tend to do, I know. Start waving your hands wildly, audience. Please help me out. This is a community that supports one another. So if I start to talk too fast, give me some sort of a signal so I can calm it down. I'd really appreciate it. Sorry. Every time. I'm so excited! Yes, and I really want to get to the panelists because they have so much wisdom to share. So please come to office hours. It is so much fun. You get to network with your community. That's why you do Fringe. Of course, it's to put on wonderful work during June, but it's also to really be in community with other artists and support each other. This is not a solo journey. So come play. I promise it'll be worth it. You can market your show. Staff will be there to answer questions or give advice throughout the process. Our next one is Wednesday at St. Felix in Hollywood from 7 to 10 p.m. And then we have 3 more after that, all the way up until previews. So Wednesdays, 7 to 10 p.m., come spend Wednesday night with Fringe. The information is on our website, the events blog, which you can go to the news tab on the top of our website, or in the hero image on top, there's a little link there as well with all of the different locations for office hours coming up. We have 2 more digital speed networking events. Those are going to be specifically for our out-of-town Fringers, people that are going to be joining us come June. But please come and get to know them. Give them a buddy to come into Hollywood already knowing. That's an important part of the journey, and something that's really exciting about Fringe is you get to know people from all over and have a shared experience you wouldn't otherwise. So please come and get to know your fellow Fringers joining from abroad. Those are going to be Thursday, May 1st. So ticket on sale, hard one to forget. and May 22nd, both at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom. We also have our spring preview coming up this coming Friday. We are so excited. It's going to be outdoors. It's going to be like beer garden vibes. It's our scholarship shows and more going to be performing little snippets of their performances. And we also have kind of a preview to Fringe Central. 905 Cole will also be our home base all through June. So you'll get to kind of see a little bit of what our home in June is going to look like, and hopefully your home in June as well. It's a really special space for us. There's also our donor program. And this program is really fun because it doesn't just benefit Fringe, it benefits you. 25% of our donor program goes directly into artists' pockets through our artist fund, which we will be announcing very soon. So if you haven't applied, check your emails. It's important because it's free money. It's free money to do Fringe. But 25% of that program goes directly to artists. So everyone wins here. We're a nonprofit. We don't have tons of money. And the festival isn't cheap to run. I don't know if you all are producers, right? You produce. It's not cheap producing in Hollywood, and a festival is no different. So we rely on members and donors to really help us provide more opportunity for you. So if you know anyone who's interested yourself, please join the donor program. It's VIP entry to different events that we throw. It's also 25% off select ticket sales. So that's going to be select performances throughout the festival journey. It's also a curated experience. So you're going to kind of get a concierge experience of Fringe, so you don't have to kind of, jump in and figure out what you want to do. So sorry. In addition, it gives you a donor button that gets you 50% off all of drinks at Fringe Central because we run a bar in June, so donors get a 50% off button that they can use throughout June. Also, of course, recognition on our website, our printed guide, our unwavering love and gratitude for helping us make opportunity for artists. So keep an eye out on that. It is hollywoodfringe.org/members. Ellen? Membership. But please check that out. Okay, opportunities to engage with us during June. We have a lot coming up. Not yet. I want to let you know May 6th is going to be the date. So check your emails on May 6th. That's when all of these events are going to become possibilities for you, and you can apply that sort of thing. We have Fringe Cabaret this year. We have 3 late-night cabarets scheduled, all at Fringe Central during June. We also have our drink sponsorships back. That's going to be for $100. You can market your show in a very boozy way at Fringe Central. Basically, our bar team creates a specialty cocktail in celebration of your show. You give, you tell us about your show, some themes, some characters, what sort of flavors you like and don't like, and then we create a cocktail to put on the bar menu that is all about your show. So for $100, you can have that marketing opportunity. There's also Fringe Runway, which is happening at Fringe Central this year on June 3rd. That's a chance to showcase your costume designers. I think, there's so many special pieces of the theater process, right? And I feel like actors tend to get the most recognition, especially during the performance run. So this is a chance for you, if you have amazing costumes in your shows, some things that are truly unique and special, make sure you sign up for Fringe Runway so that your costume designer has their moment of glory in the Fringe process. So all of that is coming into your emails on what date? Yes, May 6th. So nobody panic, it's coming. You will all have opportunity at the same time. Oh, I forgot.
It's all right. You can leave right there.
Thanks, Haverty. The team takes such good care of each other. Okay, so all of that May 6th. And then come to Fringe Central. In June, Fringe Central activates. That is your social space all through June. Weekends, Friday through Sunday. Hours will be announced in the coming days as well. But think of it like office hours. For this side of the room that's been to office hours, it's going to be office hours every weekend of the festival. So come to market your show. We're going to have, this is where audiences and artists mingle, which I think is one of the special things about Fringe in particular, is that there isn't this wall up between. You don't go to the Pantages, see a show, and then walk away having no contact with the actor or the actor experience. So Fringe Central becomes kind of that place where all of the worlds collide, and we get to really share in community together. There's, of course, the bar, our concierge, where you can buy Fringe merch. This is last year's, and fun things like that. And also, again, a place where staff is there, so you can ask questions, come to us. We want to hear about your Fringe journey. We want to know how it's going, so come and hang out with us and tell us how it's going. We also have events at Fringe Central. We have, almost every night there's going to be something going on. We'll release the full schedule closer to June, but we have an international mixer planned. We have a Meet the Press event. We have a Meet the Industry event through our new Discover Fringe program. We have different panels and different fun parties and mixers and things like that. So definitely keep an eye out. Fringe Central is going to be the spot to hang out on weekends. This year, we have, of course, also announced our Discover Fringe industry program, which we are absolutely thrilled about, because this is like our goal at Fringe is to support artists and to uplift your work. And part of how we're doing that now is through our industry program, where we're putting industry members into your shows. We're making sure that you have direct contact with people and opportunities that can take your show to the next level. So through this program, it's going to be a full disclosure situation where once industry members are registering now with us, so we're vetting them. We're making sure that we have all of the right information to make sure we're putting together a pool of people that are really going to benefit your experience in one way or another. From there, it kind of works like press. So industry will have the ability to request comps, but you have the ability to say yes or no. And that's the key, because at Fringe, we let you choose your journey. We're going to give you all of the tools, and then you get to choose what kind of experience you have at Fringe. And so within that Discover Fringe program, there's award presenters, so all of our sponsored awards is what they used to be called. All of the awards that are presented by a third party or partner organization, those judges are going to be within the industry program. So we'll have award judges, so that'll be important to keep an eye on. And then we will also have just general members of industry, casting directors, or literary managers, or company directors, people that maybe don't have something direct to offer you in the moment at awards, but they will perhaps have something to offer you in the future. These are people that you want to know, or that way the next time you're in the casting room, they know your bays already. There's people that know in that way. So with that, whenever they send a comp request, it will tell you whether they are an award judge or just a general industry member. Because again, we want you to have that control. We will also release the full list of industry members so that you can look them up. Ellen Denherter requested a ticket for my show. Who is Ellen Denherter? Okay, she runs the Hollywood Fringe Festival. It's not curated, so you get to decide, is that worth it for me to know a Fringe Festival director? Or is it not really worth it because she's not going to get to say yes or no to my show coming into, we've dealt with this. Yeah, because Ellen and I go to other Fringe festivals and we join the industry program. And it's one of those full disclosure things where Ellen and I don't choose the shows that go into Hollywood Fringe. Just because we run the damn thing doesn't mean we have a bit of control with artistry, which is what we love. But it's that, so we don't take comps because we know we can't offer anything. But you get to decide that, because maybe someone is pretty cool to get to know, because then when you come to Hollywood, she can give you advice, that sort of thing. So that's Fringe Discover, or Discover Fringe. More information about all of that coming soon, I promise, but that's the gist of how you navigate that experience. Remember that community awards are different than the sponsored awards, what we used to call them, or Discover Fringe. Those are voted on by the community, not third-party orgs. So those are run by Fringe, but not decided on by Fringe. Community votes, which means venues, participants, anyone on your team. So if you haven't added your full team to your show, do that. They get a vote, and it will be helpful. Also, audience members who have seen multiple shows through the site. So if we can confirm that somebody has seen multiple shows, they now get a ballot. So that's who votes on the community awards. Okay, don't forget your resources. We're almost done, I promise. And then panelists, so excited. The participant packet. Who's read the participant packet? I asked this at the town hall. A couple more of you. I need you to go home, everyone. I promise you it is valuable. Even if you don't, if you know everything about tickets, if you know everything about marketing, fantastic. There's discounts. Maybe you want discounts on printing, or opportunities to market your show with nohoarts.com or LAFPI. It's a Fringe Femmes program that will help you market your show for free. So please check that out. And then if you check it out and not a bit of it was helpful to you, come to office hours and tell me that. So I am challenging you to prove me wrong. So please check it out. There's also the supportal, support.hollywoodfringe.org. That is going to be where there are individual articles, most of which are linked in the participant packet. So another resource to check out, though. So make sure you know what's going on throughout your Fringe journey. And of course, email support@hollywoodfringe.org. We are here to serve you. We want to uplift you and your work. Let us do that. Ask us questions. We're here to help. In fact, Wiley, do you mind if I bring you up for just a moment to talk about volunteering while I'm bringing up the person behind support 99% of the time?
Thank you. Hi, my name is Wiley. I probably talked to many of you on support or throughout this journey. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about volunteering and our donor program. We couldn't run our festival without them, and a big way that you can show support as a participant is to get yourself on the donor and volunteer discount and comp list. This went out in the participant newsletter this week, and more information will be coming out about it as we go on. But basically, there's a Google form you fill out, you say, this is the discount that I want to offer to volunteers, this is the discount that I want to offer to our donors, these are the days that they're available, and if you're interested in volunteering, we are a primarily volunteer-run organization. We have an amazing community of volunteers. HollywoodFringe.org. There's a big button on the top of the page that says volunteer that gets you all the information that you need to know. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, no,
Thank
please
you.
come join us. Thank you, Wiley. We are a small but mighty team that work really hard, but there's just not enough bodies to make it happen. And quite frankly, we want to spend time with you, and that's a good way to spend time with Fringe staff and really dive into the details if you're curious about how a festival runs or just want to get more involved at all. Volunteering is a great way to do it. Okay, let's talk code of conduct and community ethos. This is important, and I won't go into quite as much detail because I know we've covered it at both town halls. But we are getting to the point of the festival where I think stress is at an all-time high. Where, yeah, right, and it is, and no, we're there too, right? We are here with stress because it's getting very real. And so I want to bring it back to community ethos at this time because it is so easy to let the stress get the better of us and forget that we exist in community and that everyone here is stressed and that we just, moving forward with love and respect is going to make the experience better and ultimately less stressful in the long run. So we don't have many rules at Fringe, but we do have a code of conduct, of course, that we take very seriously. If you register your project, which all of you here have, you and your team, and that's key, you and your team are held accountable for your actions while participating at the Hollywood Fringe Festival. And just like you would in any professional environment, right? We say community, and we mean it. This is a community. This community will become your dear friends, your, practical family. And that can all be possible because of the community ethos and code of conduct, but it's also not a reason to forget about them because you are getting more comfortable and things like that. So just continue to remember this is a professional environment and to maintain your actions accordingly. The Hollywood Fringe Festival is committed to creating an inclusive environment in support of all of our participants. This festival is built on freedom of expression and lack of censorship, which means that the space in which we exist has got to be a safe space so that we can take the risk in our work. And I want to commend, this festival, the amount of times that this becomes an issue is so rare, but we say it to make sure that festival expectations, we set expectation, because we do expect it and we will see that it happens because we care about this community so much. Ellen and I are mama bears about this space because you deserve it. You deserve a space where you can grow as an artist and as a person and grow your artistry, so make sure that we all show the space that same respect, and we're going to have an amazing experience and an amazing festival. The following is not allowed in our community whatsoever. Microaggressions, verbal and physical intimidation, hate speech and harassment, sexual harassment and assault, excessive consumption of alcohol or other legal substances, aggressive behavior. Remember, as you're navigating the festival, these are the obvious ones, right? But also remember intention versus impact. At the festival, we look at impact. At the end of the day, how it affects someone. And even if you don't mean to cause harm, sometimes harm can still be caused. So that is something we look at when we're dealing with conflict within the festival. So think about that in your actions and in general, right? Let's make the world better. And if anyone can do it, it's artists. So let's move forward in that fashion. And then, of course, remember public versus private interaction. And again, we're talking about that professional and personal. Because even though you're going to make incredibly strong bonds here at the festival, when you're in a public space, you might not have that same bond or connection with people near you who can overhear conversations, things like that. So just be mindful of where you are and how you're conducting yourselves in those spaces. If you or a member of your team or anyone at the festival witnesses or experiences anything that breaks our code of conduct, reach out to a member of staff on site. We will always, at any Fringe Run event, there will be staff on site. We normally have badges. I'm sorry I'm not wearing mine because I'm up here speaking, but Haverty has his on, I believe. Or Wiley, yeah, so this badge.
I'm listening to a delay, so
Oh,
I don't
so sorry, but Wiley, so we're going to have badges. They're going to look a little different this year with our new branding, but anyone with a badge like that is going to be someone you can come to, and we want to be there for you. You can also reach us at conduct@hollywoodfringe.org with any issues, and that goes, we have a conduct committee. We have all of these things in place because ultimately we also, we want to be able to create an environment where people learn, but we also want to create an environment where we understand that things like that are not tolerated. So, no, we are here for you, and hopefully none of this comes up because we all love each other, and genuinely thank you because your respect of the community and your care for the community matters a lot, and we build it together. So thank you for being a part of that. The last couple things, and then I'm officially turning it over. Make sure you don't miss anything over the next month. Read your participant newsletters. How many people have seen a participant newsletter come through? Very good. Okay, that's more. Good. Okay, if you haven't, make sure if you are a registered participant, you are automatically signed up. So if you were the primary producer, sorry, then you are automatically signed up. Once you sign your team up to your event, they are signed up. So another reason to sign your team up to your event, because then your whole team gets the newsletters, and then someone's bound to catch everything, right? So please read those. They are important. We won't let you miss a beat as long as you are reading our emails. Follow us on social at Hollywood Fringe across all the platforms. Use hashtag HFF23 when sharing about your show. We want to follow your journey digitally as well as in person. And then, of course, email support@hollywoodfringe.org. Please, your new best Fringe pal. Make sure that is your lifeline during this process. So please email us. Okay, I'm done. Oh, and I'm going to ask you, I was sick last week. I'm fully healthy, not COVID or anything like that, just full disclosure. But I haven't talked this much in a minute. So
And to the interpreters.
So, I am thrilled to introduce our amazing panelists. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Please, we're just going to kind of keep it casual, go down the line. Your name, your pronouns, a visual description, and tell us about your Fringe experience in the past.
Me, okay.
Maybe someone else would be better at holding it than I was.
Sure. Hi, I am Christine Chris Farah. She and her are my pronouns. Visually, I look like a light medium-skinned lady. I am Arab American. I have like gold bracelets on, tee-hee-hee, and my hair is slicked back, and I'm wearing a two-piece. Anyway, that's what they call this, a two-piece. It's like two-piece loungewear. Anyway.
An important feature.
I'm so excited to be here. I started my Fringe journey in 2014. I did a one-person show, but as a character, and so it was like her one-person show, and I got nominated for Best Solo Show, and it was really fun, but I didn't win anything, and like it was really, I just don't know why exactly, but I came back the next year and had like the best time. The character I did I came back and did like a cabaret variety show with her, and it ended up being lovely, and I won awards, and it was just like transformative. So that was 2015, and then I got to do the show afterward that had won Best Top of Show Women, which I had no part of. It was a New York cast, but then because the show won and they had to go back, and I was here, I got to do it. So it was like I had not expected that to happen, but just happened. And then I was like approached by the festival to sort of like start putting together a diversity scholarship program to be able to kind of like weirdly be able to curate applications for maybe voices that like we don't get to see a lot. And so that started, and it's been lovely ever since. I can't believe it. So I mean, I haven't done a show since 2015. Now I'm doing a show for the first time this year, but it's like the entire time since that year I've just been like doing Fringe as like a lover and a friend. So and a board. Oh, so this year alone, only this year, I'm now a board member of the Hollywood Fringe Theater Festival. I got to go to Ed Fringe with these two lovely ladies last year. Like, it's been amazing for me as an artist and like a human to like really pour myself into this grassroots arts and cultural festival. It's a huge passion and love of mine. Okay, so and also I'm going to talk about, I want you to come see my show. It's called Lebanese Debutante, because even though I say all this, like no one knows me. I need to like bust it out.
my signal. I love
So sorry. Also, please come see my show. We'll talk about it. It's called Lebanese Debutante. I need people to come see it, and I'll give everyone here. I'll give you like free tickets. Anyway, okay. I'm so excited to talk about this. That's all I have to say about me. I'm going to go down, and then let's discuss this beautiful festival.
Thank you. Hello everyone. My name is Teruko Nakajima. My pronouns is she, her. I am a Japanese American with long black straight hair with a ridiculously cute face. And I'm wearing red heart-shaped glasses with no glass, just a frame. And I'm wearing a red report card cardigan, and there is a dog inside. And my dog is Titi. She is my daughter, my psychiatric service dog, and my co-star of the show. And her pronouns, she doesn't know yet, but I say she, her for now. And thank you so much for having me and Titi. And we love Hollywood Fringe Festival. We really owe them a lot. Yes, our show called Made in America was first premiered at the Fringe Festival last year. And it's about my raw, shocking autobiography. It's a solo show. And thanks to you all support, we means Teruko and Titi, won 6 awards. Yes, all thanks to you. And then we went to Soho Playhouse to do off-Broadway show for 2 weeks run. And this year, we are going to Cincinnati Fringe Festival. We got invited as a primary lineup. And we are going to Edinburgh Fringe Festival this August. Yes.
Where are you in Edinburgh?
Where am I in Edinburgh?
What venue?
A venue, a Gilded Balloon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. And without this Hollywood Fringe Festival, especially Hollywood Fringe Festival scholarship program, I wouldn't be here. Seriously, I didn't even think about writing and performing. So that's the validation they gave me that my voice matters. So I just wanted you to let you know that you matter too. And I am so hoping that you're gonna be having so much fun like I did last year. And I'm here for you, Titi's here for you, and we wish you the best, and I will answer all the questions. Yes.
I'm good, actually. Hi, everyone. My name is Tyler Bremer. My pronouns are he, him. I am a white guy with a beard and sort of like medium-length brown hair. I'm wearing sort of eclectic clothing today: yellow hat, white T-shirt, multicolored cardigan, black jeans, and white sneakers. This is my 5th Fringe Festival that I'm working on. I'm really excited. The first one I did was 10 years ago in 2013. I have acted in Fringe. I was a writer and have sort of been on the producing side of things. Most of the time I work with theater companies, so this is my 2nd Fringe working with my theater company I'm a part of called the Attic Collective. So I primarily have done just ensemble shows, and so we're really excited to be back. We did a show back in 2019. That was the last time I did Fringe. We did a show called Last Croissant, which won Best Ensemble and Top of Fringe back in 2019. We had a ton of fun, and we just had to be back. We are working on 2 productions. The show that I'm working on with Attic Collective is Hedda Gabler. So if you know Ibsen, we're doing Hedda Gabler in this space. And we're just so thrilled to be back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, y'all. Haverty, I want to point out I'm using the microphone. Calling myself out that way, I continue to do so. Awesome. Y'all, I'm so happy to have you here. This is like an amazing panel with so much experience, so soak it up, please. So we're 4, maybe 5 weeks away from the festival or from previews beginning. Where should people be at right now? What should the focus be for shows doing the Fringe? What should be the most important thing kind of on their brains right now?
I would say twofold, because there's a lot of moving parts about this. You're producing and you're doing the art side of it, which is the gift that Fringe will give you, but it's also the annoying reality that you have to think about. So artistically, your script should be done soon in the next thing. Your script should be happening closed. We should be closing in on the finalization of your script, knowing that you might rehearse and change things. I would do that. That's what I'm doing. Having said that, is my script done? No, I still have till tomorrow. Now also,
Yeah.
So the second thing is the PR thing. So I would say, and there's a lot of things to be doing, but I would say if I were you, I would have the verbiage of a press release written, because that is a clarity that you will get your elevator pitch from, and also you can also put your press release on the Fringe site, and I think that's important. In the little with the PR thing, I would have your image for a postcard finalized and done. It does not have to be like Rembrandt. It really can be great and chill, and just get it off to Gotprint or whoever is giving you the best. Yeah, Gotprint. Whoever's giving you the best discount code in the participant package. Those are the three things for me.
Thank you so much. I would say, please attend all the Fringe events possible, as much as possible, because you're gonna see all the participants like you are, and you're gonna talk to them. Also, it's a great time at the office hours to ask what day your show is, what day my show is, what time, and you can flip. You can ticket swapping.
Comp swap.
A comp swap. Thank you. So you can automatically get audiences. That is so important, because last year I didn't have enough money to hire lots of people. I only had director, Mr. John, fantastic. Also, I was joining in the organization called Los Angeles Female Pride Rights Initiative. It's another great organization. Please join. They PR for me and all. And I realized word of mouth matters so strong. I still believe I got awards because of word of mouth. So seriously important, because your participant gets bored, of course, but also your participant knows how hard you're working. So please, they're not competitors. We are all going through the same thing. We are all the same friends and fringers. So please get to know them and comp swapping ASAP. Also, try to be on runway. It's so much fun. Cabaret. Yes, office hours are actually great. You are the product. You're gonna show up no matter what, and tell yourself to others, because that's the bestest PR, I thought. Yes, if you have a dog, no, it's okay. No.
Has a TT.
And,
LAFPI is in the participant packet too, so
Yes.
easy access.
Yeah, and echoing pretty much the sentiments that have been said, I think it's never too early to engage in this community. It's maybe the strongest aspect of the Hollywood Fringe. So many of your audiences are going to be your contemporaries and the people you're working with. So it's not, go to office hours. Office hours are great. And I think really engage with the people that you're working with. Ask them about their show. Find a time to, if you're in an ensemble, find a time for your company to go, whether it's all one date or spread out. And it's important to do all of the other PR stuff, absolutely, but I think the connections you make with each other are invaluable. I still have people that I know today from Fringes 10 years ago. And that's the best way to get butts in seats, I think. Now, artistically, if you have the luxury of having a script already written, something it's never too early to start thinking about this too, is some of the logistics of the tech side of things, particularly if you have sort of a complicated load in, load out. I remember when we did Last Croissant, we dedicated a full 4-hour rehearsal to just load in, load out. So if you have the luxury of time, that's something that's definitely start to make those plans. It's not a bad idea to have that planned out before you're in the space. We're in the space for such a limited amount of time. Oh, and I guess if you're going to focus on ticket sales, we're coming up to tickets being sold. I think it's really a date that's really important is your very first show. I think especially in previews. If you could get that show, if you're going to sell out any of your shows, I would prioritize, in my opinion, that one. it's a great way to generate buzz. You can start getting reviews on your show, and it can help sort of carry you through the rest of the festival.
Can you explain that set? Because I think it was the craziest set I've ever seen. And you got it in and out in 15 minutes.
Yeah, so Last Croissant is like a camping farce. So it's about a group of strangers all at a campsite. So our set, it was in this space as well. Essentially, we created an entire campsite. So we built 3 tents. We had our floor was covered in this green rug to sort of approximate grass. I want to say there's about 50 props in the show. And we had a ladder in the back. So we had stuff in the background. We had like things that hung between the ladders and the tents. It was a very involved show. We were told impossible for Fringe. And to which we said, nothing's impossible. It just takes a lot of work. But we made it part of the experience. So the whole setup process, the audience was invited from the get-go. We would start out on the sidewalk. The time on the sidewalk is invaluable. Use that to your advantage. But we started by having one of our actors singing songs while we were all carrying all the supplies, and we invited the audience in with us as we built the set. So we would continuously sing, engage with the audience, and we had every single bit planned down to a T, so everyone knew exactly what they were doing, to the point that we were able to get that set built in about 10 minutes. So we'd have like 5 minutes left over to just enjoy and engage with the audience before we started.
100%. And like, you know, when we say, like, if you've come to workshop before, there are rules, and then prove us wrong and break them. One of those times, right? Like, if you can make it work and make it successful, like, that's what's so cool about Fringe. So this is when, but you got to plan it, think it through, because you don't want to be the show that makes the show behind you 30 minutes late. That's not fun for anybody.
Yeah, and I would just, I feel like a lot of times with Fringe shows, people shy away from like the design aspects of a show. And I think that's fine. And if that's what your show is, that's great. I think don't be afraid, though, to engage with that aspect of theater making. It's the first thing an audience sees, so it's the first part of that storytelling process. So if you're like, oh, I would love this set, but it's Fringe, so I don't think I should, challenge yourself. And if your show doesn't need it, great. If the story you're telling is it's effective to have 2 chairs and that's it, amazing. But if you want to engage into having like a design aesthetic, I think it was one of the things that made our show stand out. People were like, what's with the camping show? And that question is enough to get people to come see your show.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk marketing, shall we? Since that with ticket on sale in just a couple days, let's start to think about like how you should be marketing at this stage of the game. So how do you take advantage of the Fringe buzz? Like there's a buzz that Fringe as a whole generates. How do you, as an individual show amongst the many, take advantage of the buzz, but also make sure your show is standing out amongst the many? Can you walk us through some ways to do that?
You know, it's funny because it feels like a natural kind of like segue of what you said, which is sort of marketing and branding. You know, what's with that camping show? You know, or it's just, yeah, there's the social media buzz of just like using the hashtag and just like generating conversations, and of course like social media, there's that momentum and buzz. And but also, yeah, thinking about what visually, you know, what kind of like, yeah, what can you do to make your show feel different visually? What is the theme of your show? What's a weird small thing? Like, okay, I'm just like, you know, like if your thing is schoolyards in the 90s, do you make pogs with this picture of your show on it and the QR code on the back of the pog? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? There's like, oh, there's just like, and why I say that is then because if you're going to Fringe events and everyone's having flyers, then maybe you like give someone a pog. You know what I'm saying? Pogs are, honey. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like age myself. You know what a pog is?
I've never known what to do with it. I know they exist, but I've never understood the game, I guess.
It's like, I think it's, I don't know what the game, I think it's like, it's like a version of Jax, right? You would steal other people.
Okay.
I don't know. But anyway, okay, that was okay. But you know, like, what's a token, if you will, of a visual thing that you can present your show in that that makes it different from other people, you know? I mean, that'll be rememberable is what I most wanted to say. And with that, if you can get an aesthetic, if you will, then your flyer can look that way and your marketing can look that way, and then your discount codes can start to like play into this theme, this story. Then even you can have a night that plays into that. Like you can have, I think that I remember like being on I'm gonna use a Gregory Crafts Theater Unleashed. One time did like 25-cent shows, and one night it was just, you would pay 25 cents. I'm messing this up a little bit, but that isn't, okay. So why I think having your flyer and your verbiage there and starting to think about the themes and what sets your show apart is then the second level. The challenge is, if the challenge is how to get your set in 10 minutes, but the ingenious way you get around that, then the challenge is how to set your show apart. But what does set your show apart? What's your show about? And trying to find an inventive, ingenious way of having that. Now that's an annoying thing that Fringe makes you do, but it's another one of those producery things Fringe makes you do.
It'll help later.
Yes. Is award applying is also marketing?
Sure.
Yes, thank you. So I wanted to tell you two facts that I really learned at the Fringe. There is an award list that Fringe committee give you on the newsletter. So please read through and try to find out which award can fit your, which show, if your show fits those category requirements, and please apply. Also, please apply anywhere that could be possible marketing, like let's say, if you could afford, definitely PR, publicist works, of course, and no host, or any kind of, press release sending, those reviewers, like the professional press reviewers and stuff. So please make sure to find and send them. And the second thing, I wasn't good at making money because I literally thought, I don't care how much money I make in ticketing. Instead, I really want them to, anybody to come to my show because it matters to me. It was so important for me to have somebody because my show was very vulnerable. So I really wanted to make sure somebody's there. So I ended up almost giving all the tickets. Yes, some people still kindly pay me, but then no, I totally told them that please be there. So many people came, and at the end, after the Fringe Festival, there was a theater called Complex, you must know. The owner, Mr. Matt Chait, gave me 3 weeks run for free. Yes, because he knew how hard I worked for it, and that's the reason why I get to even out. So I don't recommend it, to be honest, because you still wanted to make money, but like again, word of mouth. So I only did 3 shows, so I got later 3 weeks shows. So I got lucky, but it depends. It's up to you, but it's so important to be seen. The show needs to be seen.
Did you get a publicist for your first run?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I would love you to get a publicist, but if you can't afford a publicist, not a lot of people can for their first show.
Really quick, I'm going to touch on that and then we'll keep going. I'm sorry. Remember, there's kind of 2 versions of Fringe. Like you have the okay, this is kind of your goal, is this month of June, and then focus on all of these things, making sure your show is standing out amongst the many. But maybe you look at Taruko's path, where she was not trying to make all of the money in June. She was not trying to fill the seats with ticket buyers. But look what she's done since. So she used the momentum of June, thinking for the next Fringe Festival, for the next run in in New York, and then the next run even would ended up being at the Complex.
Yes.
So you can weigh both of those or do both because they really go hand in hand. So sorry.
Thank you, Sam.
No, absolutely. I absolutely agree with what's already been said, so I'm going to try to keep it brief to avoid redundancy. But I think any problem or challenge, any challenge you face, I think can be solved with creativity. I mean, every single person in this room, you're all creative people. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. And I think when you're approaching office hours, when you're approaching your flyer, marketing your show, thinking about it from a creative lens is, I think, going to be the thing that stands apart, as was mentioned before. If you have an idea of what your show's aesthetic is, lean into that. The other thing is, and sort of going back to the last point, which is engaging in the community, I worked on a show with a company called Four Clowns back in 2015. And at that point, they were already like Fringe veterans. And the primary producer did this really smart thing where he created in the program for our show a page that was dedicated to Fringe friends. So it was free marketing for other people's shows that you can, so, you know, as you're connecting with people in office hours, people that feel like-minded or that there's something about their show that really stands out to you, creating that kind of, it's kind of similar to like comp for comp, but like having that in your program is a very solid tool. It helps out the community and it creates that connection that I think is just massively important.
100%. Like, use the community. Otherwise, you could do a standalone run anywhere. It's not like these venues are not open the rest of the year. It's not like you can't book, 5 shows in December and have your show up then. You be a part of the Fringe community and really, like, absolutely use each other, not use each other, like, work with each other and think, like, when you're gaining these relationships, quality over quantity. Don't try to make 200 friends at Fringe. Try to make 20 really good ones, really strong ones, and then be wonderfully personable with the rest. But think about, like, not just handing postcards and then having no recollection of who you chatted to that night. Start to make real bonds, because then these are going to be professional relationships or dear friends that you work with for years to come. And so really, really take on the benefit there. So let's talk outside of the community, right? Because let's be honest, the Fringe is there's a buzz, it generates audience, but we cannot solely be responsible for filling your houses. It's just not humanly possible. So how do you recommend going about marketing outside of the Fringe community and starting to get general audiences into Fringe?
Well, you have yourself and you have the content of your work. You have yourself and your social circle, where you are as an artist, where you perform, your friends. You have that. Definitely, we all are invited to shows all the time, aren't we? We live in Los Angeles, improv shows, sketch shows, stand-up shows, all day long it happens. And it'll happen for the rest of our lives as we're here. So your friends and your family know what's happening, so it's those people. But then of course, there's there's the themes of your show and who could connect to them. Who do they speak to? And that's I think where marketing can really come in, and that thing where you have a press release and you try and generate emails of publications, blogs, Instagram accounts. I mean, we're in a world now that if you made a social media post that was easily shareable and then just gave it to accounts that felt aligned with you, maybe they'd share it. And there's just so many weird ways of doing things. But you know your people. So those are I don't know how you can get your own people, and then, but also, use the material to bring in an audience, because at the end of the day, if you are working on something authentically that feels real to you, then it's going to feel real to someone else, and that's why we do this. So I want you to have all your friends and your family to come in, and we want them to bring their friends in too, but if you can bring in someone that's going to, like, off the street that just is kind of like, what's this show? I mean, that's it. That's like that weird, that's like kind of the magic thing.
I will talk 2 things. Number 1, my scholarship mentor, Mr. Matthew Robinson, told me to do hashtag, for you, HFF 23, Hollywood Fringe or Hollywood Fringe Festival, and 2 more, LA Theater with an E, or LATHTR. Those 4 hashtags gonna help your shows, what's that called? Spread the word, marketing, and a great way to introduce your show to LA theater community, because we have so many. Yes, sir. Of course. number one, HFF23. Number two, hashtag Hollywood Fringe. Number three, hashtag LA Theater with E. Means like a British way to spell the theater. So LA Theater. Yes. And number four. Yeah. Well, number four, lastly, LATHTR. Is it right? I might be wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hashtag LATHTR. Thank you. So that's very helpful. I got helped so well. And number two, I am a woman, Asian, first generation immigrant. What else? With a dog, and I'm a comedian. So I sent out all the press release to those organizations that could help, like domestic violence, or like the women's health organizations, or women who need help organizations. So it's great that your background and what you can be supported. So please consider, out of the community-wise, you can send what kind of show it is. If there is some theme related to some organization, you can send out too. And I also sent my comedy school, UCB. A lot of people kindly came, so it's good to have outside community also.
Yeah, absolutely. I think engaging with the communities, if your show's dealing with a specific community, engaging with those communities outside of Fringe is invaluable. I think looking at, there's a lot of different educational institutes around Los Angeles, especially people who are studying theater, acting, what have you, and engaging with those also. And it might mean offering discounted tickets or free tickets to those, but I think, as we've talked about, just having that presence is possibly more important. I don't want to speak for anyone and their budget and whatnot, but it's possibly more important than the money you could be making off those tickets. The LA theater community is incredibly rich, even outside of Fringe. Fringe is a huge, massive part of it, but there's so much engagement in the LA theater throughout the rest of the year, but also during summer. I know a lot of theater artists who got their start in Fringe and maybe don't have the resources or the bandwidth to do Fringe this year. I think with COVID, it's been kind of a slow coming back. I know for us it was. There was a lot of hesitation on coming back. We're so excited that it feels like it is now, for me at least, at a place that feels so familiar. And if you're thinking about Fringe, if you're thinking about this as sort of like a long-term thing, you think you're going to come back and do Fringe again, whether you're doing your same show or a different show. This is going to be a little bit post-June, but trying to engage with the community outside of Fringe too, producing shows, being a presence within the community is incredibly helpful. And if you're lucky enough to have 9 to 12 people in your cast, you'll have a lot of friends and family there too.
100%, yes. And I think if we learned anything, right, engage. Just engage with people. They're your people. They're artists. They're art lovers. So know that it's not going to be hard to find people that are going to want to see your show, as long as you're thinking about reaching out to people that live in that world, right? So let's talk press. I'm going to mention, just to remind you, if you have not started to think about the press release and the press part of your Fringe journey, it is all in the participant packet. There are so many handy tools to help. If you've never written a press release and don't even know where to start, we got you. We have options in there that are going to kind of get you along the way to having a good press release, and then you post it directly on the website. So please make sure you do that. But panelists, brilliant panelists, let's talk press. We live in Los Angeles, so let's also talk expectation on how that's likely going to go, because I'm sorry to inform you, if I'm the first one, Los Angeles is not huge for press and theater coverage. So know that, but we do have it. It is it is possible, and it is even likely, depending on how you go about it. So how did you successfully get people to come and review your show? Did you hire a press person? If so, what was that journey like for you? But let's talk about press.
Oh, yeah. Variety never came to review my show, but Stage Raw did. So let's talk. So in LA Times, Charles McNulty is the guy that does theater reviews. He's probably not going to come see your show, but if he does, can we be friends? Okay. Stephen Lee Morris runs Stage Raw, and they are a theater review site. Probably, from what I know, probably like a good one to get. So stageraw.com. I don't know if they're going to go see everyone's. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think you should do and what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on the HFF Hollywood Fringe site, and I'm going to go to everyone who reviewed her show last year. Why? Her show won. Top of Fringe. Go.
No, top of it.
Okay.
No,
Solo
top
show.
of
Solo. I'm so sorry. Just like, shh, whatever. No, I love you. No, let me be your agent. Let me be your agent, honey. You said 6 awards. They don't gotta know what individual 6, but let me look at it. I'm gonna go to her site. I'm gonna go to her show is still on the site, right? And on the page it says different tabs. The tickets, the info, the reviews. And the way the Hollywood Fringe site is set up, anyone can review anyone's show. Also, press do, and it's listed there, and it's highlighted as press. Which means I know these people have a time in being at the Hollywood Fringe is and seeing shows. Now, what if I also, and I'm not, I wish I was, but I mean, in this scenario, an Asian American woman, that I could then write to that press person being like, well, you loved her show. You loved it. You know whose show's coming this show, and I think you should see it mine. I mean, that is a way that you would literally use your participants. But what I'm saying is maybe you can go and see on the site what kind of shows happened like yours last time, who reviewed those shows, who were professional reviewers. Reach out to them. You could reach out to them through the site. You could also use this weird thing called Google and try and find other ways to reach out to them. That is like the grassroots way to do it. Now, the way to otherly do it is pay people for their press lists or pay a publicist. And I always love money if you want to use it. I think it's a great, easy option,
Yes.
but that might not be the option. So, what?
How can they find that like awards list? Maybe to like research and kind of find different that might have done good things.
Okay, so great question from the audience, not planted, which is, how do you find out who won the awards last year? Well, everything is on the site because, and also Google, but like truly, they list the awards. It's a huge deal. Like, it's gotten out to everyone. It's all there. I mean, it's been there from years past. You can see who won. And so, yeah, you can also then Google who reviewed their shows also if you want to read the write-ups. Because, the Hollywood Fringe is posting from blogs the write-ups onto the site, so it makes it really easy. But also these publications exist on Google, so then you can go to them and see, it's just, you're gonna have to do some research, babes. The cheap version is research, and the rich version is you pay people.
What's the best time?
Okay, so there's, what is the best timing to do this? I would say, okay, you have to have the plan to do it. You have to garner all the email addresses. You have to have, what I'm assuming is a kick-ass pitch with all of your promos there to send out to the person. And then you want, the week before, you want them to come to, I would assume, if you really want them there, send a little nudge. So, this is a month before. If you're planning now, I want you to get the emails together in an email list or whatever your publicity stuff within the next week or two, so you can send them out in 2 weeks before you open, nudge them the last week of May, first week of June to come to a preview. Ideally, press comes to your previews so that they write the review and then people come. But, so that's my answer. I'm just going to pass it, but thank you so much.
I'm going to quickly note in the participant packet or on marketing and press article in the portal, we have I didn't do the mic again, sorry. No, I'm sorry. We have a full list of press outlets that we update every year, and in fact we do exactly what Chris is saying, which all year round we're scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and see, oh, that was a Fringe show, or that's someone who's done Fringe in the past and they got a review by this person, put that on the list, Carly. So this is how we're also getting our list, and then that's how we invite press. We invite press to the festival, they register with the festival, and then they reach out to you via the site. You're doing this on your own. So between the two, if both arms of the machine are working, you're gonna get someone at your show. So you work hard, we're working hard, we're gonna get people in the audience there. Okay.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. By the way, we won Best Solo Show last year. Not Top of Fringe. Top of Fringe was a sexuality from Miss Becca. Awesomest show. Yes. So I just want to. No, not you. No. I just wanted to clarify. I'm sorry. No, it's not you.
I don't wanna-
You're so kind. Are you kidding me? You are so sweet. I love it.
Roses. You smell like a rose.
It's so funny to hear because I don't think so, but thank you.
Are you wearing roses?
No. Oh, thank you. Probably
TT.
Yeah, she took bus yesterday. Okay, never mind. Sorry. So I wanted to say, during the Fringe, I didn't even know how to reach out to the press people and all. But I already had a press release, and I sent them randomly, to anybody. And we never know who can come, so please try. If you could hire PR, definitely publicists know everything. If you could hire publicists, ASAP, because they need time to spread out, so please. Yeah.
Can you use a discount code? Something PR that you can give them 20% off, 30% half off, whatever? And if so, do you have access to that information to know ticket, that type of thing?
So are you talking about like inviting press to your show? So what you're going to want to do there, y'all. So you can press. I will notably say they expect a comp. You can certainly give out discount codes instead, which you can make on the site. But with press, it is genuinely assumed that they get a comp to your performance, and that is something if they're registered with us already, they will request a comp through the site, and then you will get a lovely, easy email that says this person would like to come to this performance. Is that okay? And then you click a button, and then boom, they're added to your will call as a press seat. Additionally, you can add them. So on May 1st, you'll get a cool new button on your tickets page that says comp. So if you reach out to Stage Raw or LA Times and then somebody responds and is like, hell yeah, I'll be there, then you go onto the site, click comp, and save however many tickets for that press outlet that you've had a private interaction with. So that's all doable on the site.
And you can do a comp plus one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you put their name in.
You put their name in, yeah, absolutely.
You
And
can
then,
do
like I
a
said, if it
comp
comes to
plus
the Fringe, then it'll already be a registered user. Yes, we're already here, so we're just gonna ask a couple questions here.
Will we also see that during that fancy dancy ticketing video chat thing?
During the fancy dancy one, yes. Yeah, we're gonna go through all of that, y'all. Literally, it's just gonna be me and y'all on Zoom hanging out on the Fringe website. Such a sexy way to spend Tuesday night.
Screen share it, right?
I'll be screen sharing the whole thing, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, Hollywood. Sure, hollywoodfringe.org/market. That is where we have ads for the Fringe website. Unfortunately, the printed guide ad, I'm going to say, if you can get it in today, if you buy a printed ad, I can make it work. But those are pretty much, the ship is almost sailed. But the online ads are available at any time. You purchase them by impression, which means eyeballs. So kind of like what everyone on this brilliant panel has been talking about, the branding, making sure that when I'm thinking of pink and purple like hippopotamuses, I'm thinking of your show or whatever, there should be some sort of a theme, and then use those impressions on the website to remind people that they want to see your show, because there's a lot of y'all. So I can't tell you how many times I've been on the site looking for the events page because I forgot what time our festival expectations panel started, and I scheduled the damn thing, and then I see an ad, oh my god, I was talking to them at office hours, that sounded incredible, I'm going to hit a star and make sure it's on my favorites page. So that's kind of how those impressions work, and you can buy them at any time. Hell, you can buy them in August for your extension run if you want to. So you get to link they're sold by, it's any web impressions or marketing on like digital sites, right? It's going to be like, it takes 2 or 3 times for people to see it to be like, I really want to do that, right? That's how they get us on Facebook. The amount of like weird blenders I've purchased because Facebook has decided to show me 7 different versions. But so it's impressions, and then you have a click, so you get to add some sort of an image. Usually it's your postcard, but it can be whatever you want. A title, a short description. I recommend short. There's a little bit of extra room, but keep it short and sweet. Come to my show, best damn comedy in the West. I don't like something that's going to get people's attention. And then a click. It's a hyperlink. You add a hyperlink to your ad so people can click directly on that digital ad and go to your page or go to your website if you'd prefer. But I think the Fringe page is usually makes the most sense. Yes, it does. Yeah. If you're doing the print ads will not, because that would be tricky business, but the digital ad definitely does. The online ads do, yes.
That's the one where.
The impressions where you can click their website. Yeah. I'm just gonna take one more question, then we're gonna get back to the panel.
Information on the first show of the people who came to your show, and
yeah.
email them to say thanks for coming to the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
Here's a comp if you know somebody else that would like to come.
Sure, yeah. The cool thing about Fringe, y'all, access to your entire list. Anyone who's purchased a ticket to your show, that is your list now. Unless they opt out, sorry?
Email and phone.
Email, phone number, no, it's email, and that's only if you opt in, right? We live in a world where we're not stealing people's email addresses, but when anyone buys a ticket on the Fringe website to your show, we additionally ask them, can we share your contact information with the artist you're supporting? And most of them say yes. And so for the remainder of time, you will have access to that email list starting from the moment they buy a ticket. So you can absolutely send pre-information. Join me for a drink at the Broadwater Plunge before my show, or join me after. Email after, we'll talk about reviews. But email after to get whatever it is you want out of them, whether it's additional tickets sold, reviews, things like that. And then in 2 years, you can go back to that list when you have another show in Los Angeles and say, hey, remember me? You came to my show in 2020, what year is it? 2023. I'm doing another one, swing by. And then you had a question, right, Darlene?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the order that you're doing this, so I apologize.
No.
Too far in advance, but I'm just wondering, bought impressions, if you found that there was a certain number that was useful to you. I know it's super hard with ads to know how people found you, right? So it's a tricky question to answer, but if you guys participated in those kinds of online ads and what you did within that participation.
I'm supposed to hold on to my mic.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
yes, I did, and I can't even tell you how many I bought. I just kept buying. No, I bought a lot of ads. I mean, I bought. They would run out, I buy. Ran out, I buy. Right, and then then what would happen is, you could have different ads. So then you can do one where it says, sold out, almost done tickets, or that's not how you'd say. Almost done tickets.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Sorry. Almost sold out, or you can change it as the festival goes, is what I wanted to say, to have a slightly more urgent tone or whatever you want. I liked buying ads. I want to do it again.
Boom. I think, real quick, should we take it back to press, just because we only have about 30 minutes? Yeah. Okay, so any last thoughts on the press release, the daunting nature of getting those
We're all
out?
about ads, right? Yeah, we all, everyone, I think a lot of people buy ads. I'm just gonna
So some other things to think about with press. I think doing as much research as possible is helpful. Look at folks who are reviewing, even if it's a more private blog or something like that, shows throughout the year. Look up theater reviews, see who's writing it, reach out. The worst thing that they can say is no or just not respond, but that costs you only time.
They need content.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big
They
time, big time.
Want, they need content. They want you.
It also might be worth looking up people who are doing theater podcasts in Los Angeles, just reaching out to any resource that you use to hear about shows. Think of it then. How can you utilize that resource? I feel like I had something else, but it'll come if it comes, and if it doesn't, then great.
So sorry, we went down a whole path there in the middle of that section. I'm so sorry. But 100% use. Yeah, there's so many blogs out there, and
I do remember. So the other thing, this is kind of for every aspect of Fringe. If you are fortunate enough to have a team, like a semi-large team, or just like a couple of people, delegate some of these tasks. I think like you're all, I'm assuming the primary producers on your shows, this is a marathon, not a sprint. There's going to be a lot going on from now till preview till closing night, and you're running the risk of burnout. So I think you're not going to be very useful if you're burnt out by the time your show opens. If you have folks in your team, share the wealth of things that can be done, and that includes utilizing their own specific lists of resources. Everyone sort of comes in with their own level of folks that they know, and if you have multiple events that you're trying to go to, if you can't make every single one, having like someone as like an ambassador for your show there is also useful, helpful, and will save you from losing your mind by the time June comes around.
I mean, I don't know that we're going to talk about anything more important than that today at the end of the day, because you're humans first, right? And we are all human, and this marathon, not a sprint, 100% is what this is. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Ellen and I have been doing this for years. I mean, I think I'm 13 years in now. Please God, don't need a food truck every night of the week. You're going to fully regret it by the time you end up deathly ill in July. So take care of yourselves and take care of each other through the entire process. It is okay to say no. I cannot see your show tonight. I need to go home and practice a little bit of self-care. That is okay. I need to Netflix tonight and not see or talk to anyone. That is allowed. Staff makes it a point to at least take one night a week away from the space so that we can have, a deep breath and recharge our cups as well. So brilliant. Yes, I'm glad we brought that up. Let's talk about Fringe audience reviews, because that's another thing, right? It's a little different than press, but it is still very, very valuable to your Fringe experience. What advice do you have for garnering reviews during the festival? And then what the hell do you do with them after? How can you use these reviews to take your Fringe show on to the next level?
Okay, so the website itself will email everyone like 5 minutes after your show ends, being
5
like,
minutes after it starts, technically.
okay, that's what I thought. I was going to say it. I was like, I think it's 5 minutes after your show starts. So if they don't like it, they walked out 5 minutes. They can leave a review. No, but they get emailed saying, "Did you like the show? Do you want to leave a review?" Which is fucking great. I mean, great.
It is fucking great.
How do you say fucking? Great. So sorry. I'm so sorry. That was not professional, but I love you for that. I love her. So sorry. She has to do it. No, I know.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So sorry. I got it.
Fun.
Wait. What are we talking about?
Reviews.
Okay. So, you are welcome to review the shows that you see as a participant. They're probably going to be real good, right? Because your name's on it. It's going to be awkward if you talk about how shitty someone's show is. So there's a little politics that come into if you're a participant leaving a review. That's something you can know, and that's something. But, I think that the most important thing is to get authenticity. Your relationships, the reactions from people, the connection. So authentic reviews from anyone across the board means a lot. It doesn't have to be stage raw, because if you get a brilliantly expressive review, you're going to use it all over your materials. I don't care if I gave it to you. I mean, I'm great. So, I could have said, like, your grandma. Just, like, change her name. But I would say that on a technical level, besides literally asking, right after, you can literally be like, thank you guys so much for coming. I have some other friends that are doing shows here. Anyone else here? This person, see that person show. And also, please leave a review. There's that way of doing it, which I would recommend. And the last thing is people do QR codes.
Yes.
So, you just literally go and get a QR code. You can get it off Google. And so, you know what I'm talking about, because all the menus are that now. And so you can have it on the back of your program. So they can just scan it right away and leave a review. You can have it like a postcard in your program. You can email them afterward and just, you can ask. There is many different ways to get it, but don't be crazy about it. Also, because if someone has, I think this is also like a weird thing for me for the capitalism. I get really upset if I pay for something and someone's just hounding me to review it all the time. You know, like that's something that happens with products now. People are like, how'd you like that? I was like, well, I paid for my ticket, so I don't have to tell you. Why don't you pay for your own marketing? But we're artists, so probably not going to be the same. If you got a comp from someone and you like the show, please review it. Know that if you hated something, you know, I think that for me, I would probably keep it to myself. If I could give constructive criticism for someone in a loving way, I will to their face. If I love something and I want everyone to know, no matter what it is, I'll scream it from the mountaintop for the rest of my life. So, you know,
It's true.
yeah, I think that, you know, you want the people that connect with you the most, you know, like that title of the show, like the 11 people over the masses to like sing your praises, and the truth is that'll come to you. So do the work, and in that connection, the authentic reaction will come to you.
Thank you. Such a great advice. Thank you. My theater complex and my stage had a screen. So what I did was, right after the show, there is a slide says, a big QR code said, please review Made in America, Teruko and Titi. So everybody was taking photos and all. Or if you don't have that screen, you can put the big version printed out and put on the wall so they can, take a photo of. So that would be helpful, I think. And, about the reviews, everybody was so kind last year to my reviews. And whenever I feel so sad, I always read reviews because it makes me so, warm and supported. So, yes, I got super, sweet reviews. And I gave super awesome reviews too. But, yes, I felt so supported by those.
Yeah, so I think this is a bit of a generalization about, for me, like every aspect of Fringe as well, is that you get out what you put in. So if you're seeing a show and you're a producer and you have your own show, leave the review. And there is a function where you can leave a review anonymously. I'd suggest don't do that because people can click on if you're a Fringe participant, they can click on your name. It'll link them to your profile, which will then link them to your show. So if you're the first person to see someone's show, leave that review. Hopefully at that point they can then use that traffic to then find their way back to your show. I also think it's not incorrect to say that there's a little bit of politicking involved with leaving reviews. I like to try to remind myself to be able to still leave like an authentic review, that like the nature of the work that we all do is that this is all in process. So like thinking of it from that point of view, I think makes it a little bit easier to then have that kind of mentality going into how you review a show. One of my mentors said he always walks away from a show finding at least one thing that he liked about it. It's not hard to do. Find one thing, focus on that, and not to say you can't be constructive, but I think coming from a place of subjective point of view versus what is objectively bad, or I hate using that word when it comes to reviewing shows. And the other thing is for the folks who aren't involved with the Fringe or theater, if you have friends, coming coworkers, it doesn't hurt to text them and just say, hey, it would be really helpful for this thing that I'm working on if you could just leave a couple of words in our review. It only costs them a little time. I know most of my friends and family, they don't leave a review not because they don't want to, but just because they don't really think about it. But if you sort of emphasize that this is something that is helping you and your process of making theater, 99% of the time people are so down, even if it's a 2-word review. And I think this is one of those weird moments where like quantity matters. Like having a lot of reviews on your show makes your show stand out. So like trying to get not just Fringe community to engage and review your show, but having people who aren't involved with even theater, just like having folks, especially if it resonates with them, having them share that is really important.
Absolutely, and I think it's hard, especially, the Fringe model kind of operates as a place for artists to learn how to be producers. So there's going to be some of you that are producing pros. Like, this is not outside of your wheelhouse at all. But for those of you that are artists who are very new to the producing part of this game, I know it can be difficult to ask for things that you need that are going to be helpful. As humans, it's hard to ask for things we need, right? So try to not let that get in your way when it comes to these sorts of opportunities, because it really will help your show get off and running, and you'll be able to use this to garner attention on your show and use it to describe your show later and for future marketing. So it really is important. And with that, I'm going to easy segue over to what the I'm now going to start swearing. Now that Chris did, I'm going to start doing it. What happens after Fringe? Like what are, so let's pretend we've made it all the way through June, and now we're preparing for awards. And so how do you strategize for awards, or do you? Because at the end of the day, we're all just happy to be producing art and seeing art and being a part of this process. But do you strategize? Are awards important, or are they just kind of a bonus at the tail end of a really wonderful month? Wonderful summer camp, if you will. And then what next? Like, how during Fringe can you start to think about what's going to happen next with your show, and any advice there?
Yeah, I definitely did not think about awards. I just didn't think about it. And I know that, I was so honored to be nominated the first year, and I can't believe I won the second year. I don't think you should care about it at all. I think these sponsored awards are fun because you get more eyes, and I would apply for the sponsored awards just for seats filled. Butts in the seats. Like, I'd be like, oh, well, good. If so-and-so's coming in because they got to review my show for something, I don't care about the award. I'm like, well, that's one more seat, but butt in the seat, and then that's kind of the win there. The win for me, again, I guess, which is my ultimate expectation, is just a connection and have people see my work. I wish I could be like, and make money. That's not an expectation of mine, and if it is an expectation of yours, probably it's something that I really would like you to rethink, because I don't know how it would happen unless you are just like a famous person. I don't know you, which is great because you're like a social media star. Like, I'm trying to think, how would you make money if you were like a TikTok star and suddenly we're like, I'm gonna put together a show and charge a bunch of teens $40 to come see their dumbass show. I mean, great. Anyway.
This festival is not sponsored by TikTok.
I love TikTok. No, I love TikTok. Honey, she loves TikTok. She loves all the transnational corporations. Don't take it away from her. Give it all to her. But I think that you just have to put it out there and not be super reactive to anything. Not be super reactive to this, you're gonna be stressed, but you can't react to your stress, right? And if someone's stressed with you this year, or this Hollywood Fringe, you can't really react to that. God, you said something else, you were like, not reacting, or not assigning a certain narrative to asking a question. If you are afraid to produce because you are afraid to ask for something, you are assigning a narrative. Oh, if I ask them that, they'll think that I'm this and that, and then maybe they won't think that I'm great or whatever. But if there can be a less of a disconnect between that, it'll help you and serve you in the long run. What is your goal? And then everything else exists, and you do your best in your space. And try and be less reactive, have a disconnect to any weird story you've told yourself that is not aligned with your ultimate goal. And I think that most people that really excel at Fringe's ultimate goal is to work. And there is that checkoff thing that work begets work. So if work begets work, at some point we'll get paid.
Speaking life advice over here.
I totally agree. Yes, and on my end, we got 6 awards. So this is just a super bonus. I could die now. Yes, like the super bonus. Yes, I never expected to get awards, and to be honest, getting award or not getting award, it doesn't matter. We are all artists, and we are all performing our voices. So just an what's that called? Like garnish, like a super awesomeness garnish. Yes, cherries. So and Titi, my director think Titi got on her head.
Oh,
What's that?
ego?
Yeah, super ego because she thinks she won 6 awards, so now she's like, I'm the best, so
TT.
TT's a diva now. Yeah, so
When you are down, you don't look at your awards. When you are down, you are look at your reviews, and not even press reviews. You're looking at the reviews of people who saw your show and then felt compelled to talk to you about it.
yes, definitely.
Right?
Yes.
Because that's what it's about. It wasn't about their awards. You just happened to get them. Well, TT did. That's not what you, or you're like, that's not what makes you feel, sorry, that's not what makes you feel fulfilled. I know you said it,
Yes, really, really makes me happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Awards are great. They're fun. It's a nice feeling. It is not a measurement of how successful or compelling or the work that you, it's not a measurement of how, good your show is. Some of my favorite shows I've seen in Fringe don't win an award. In fact, most shows will not win an award. It's purely a numbers thing.
true. No, that's true.
There's a lot of different things that go into why a show will win an award. And not to say, if you win an award, your show's great. Like, good for you. That's awesome.
That's it, yes.
But it's, the pride in your work should start long before awards happen. The fact that every one of you is out here producing a show, self-producing a show, is braver than most of the shit that happens in this city.
Yes, 100%.
So that's it, right? Like that's why we're here. And if you get a trophy, great. If you don't, great. You showed up. You did your fucking thing. Now I'm cursing a bunch.
I love it.
But like, the reason we're all here is to tell a story. So tell the story to like your best, truest ability, and like what comes after that, great. It's out of your control.
I'm over here getting all the fucking feels. Like, this is hard. No, yeah. Like, this, you are here. You are doing it. You've already won. Now enjoy it. Now you get to actually live in that enjoyment and the pride and the connection. And the award is ideally, the Fringe changed. I've seen the Fringe change my life. The Fringe has changed other people's lives. So many other people's lives, and it's not necessarily about like now they're a famous actor, but their life is different. They have different, they have new friends, they have new opportunities, they've grown artistically or personally or professionally, whatever it is, and that can be the award. Just being able to go through an experience big enough to change you, right? Because big experiences always do. I don't care if it's a 2-week vacation in Europe. That's a big life experience that is going to change you. So let the Hollywood Fringe do that in a positive way, and that be the award that you remember in 40, 50 years. Is not the little blue freak trophy. It's the fact that like that impacted my life, and I'm a different person because of it. So, holding on that. So let's talk about Fringe goals. I think that's a great segue to what goals, like it's important to set goals, right? Because if you actually set goals, you might have a chance in succeeding those goals, or succeeding in reaching those goals. So let's talk about like maybe in your experience with Fringe, we always recommend 2 goals, having 2 things that you're like, I really want to hit it out of the park with 1 or 2 things. What were those? How did you work toward achieving those goals? And then while in that process, I'm going to kind of double up here, just so we have time for questions. What were unexpected hurdles that you didn't expect, or different things about the Fringe that you thought you knew going in, and that you were kind of slapped in the face with a reality check once you got into the actual experience? So what were your goals, and how did the experience play out?
Will you go first this time?
Sure.
I didn't think about mine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, so the last time we did this, some of our goals. I think part of it was to do what we were told was not possible, which is to do like a fully realized designed show that was, we had to fit in 90 minutes, and during rehearsals was running 2 hours, so like especially in the last couple weeks, our goal was to not have the lights turn on. So, I think thinking about some of those like specific logistics is helpful. I think it doesn't hurt to have a goal to have a full house on one of your shows. I think it doesn't hurt for me, a lot of times as a participant, my goal ends up actually being more about like the amount of shows that I see, like the amount of times that I'm connecting with people. I know we've been sort of circling around this throughout this panel, but it really is like, the Fringe website is a great thing. You can go day by day. It'll give you the schedule of what is playing from the morning to the evening. So, it can be a little overwhelming to go and look up shows by categories. So a lot of times I'll start my morning just by looking up what the daily schedule is and then just sort of shaping my day around it. If you have a day to see a bunch of theater, it's a lot easier to just do it in a day as opposed to, trying to plan a bunch of different days. You can cover a lot of ground in 24 hours. So I always go into Fringe thinking I want to see more than I saw last time, and goals being I want to go to some of the like extracurricular events. Like I want to have more time in Fringe Central to have conversations over a cocktail or a mocktail, whatever floats your boat. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, don't forget about the social experience that Fringe is. It's summer camp. Do the work, be an artist, and then play and enjoy the fun.
Yes, thank you. My show was, like I said, that was my autobiography. So my goal was to let everyone know my story, because I felt if I can still be here today, I am alive, you can too. And I really, really wanted to focus on that part, especially suicidal. I'm still struggling, but I am here today and telling my story. And if somebody said, oh, if Teruko can do it, I can do it, that's great. So that was my goal. And as a matter of fact, that was the hardest thing I've ever done, because I have to think about my life, look back and, oh my gosh, I was so tired, I have to redo this and I have to re-talk about this and all. But the rewards were amazing. I never meant that awards were not good. Thank you so much for giving me awards. I never meant that. But
we're not taking them back, I promise.
But the real reward was so many people came to me, especially gentlemen came to me, and Teruko, that kind of thing happened to me too. So many people told me that they related to my story, and ultimately I felt I'm not alone. So that was the bestest reward I've got. So I'm so happy. It was so hard to do, but I got the goal.
I love that.
Me over here just crying. I just love you so much.
Yeah, I think that my goal is just to do work. This is my second, I'm doing a personal show. And I remember like in 2014, I mostly was just like mad at that time or feeling stagnant. And I feel stagnant again in a different way, I think like post-COVID, because I haven't like gotten to perform. And I have this like angsty energy. And I remember feeling that way too. I think it's hard to do theater in this town. I think. Have you guys felt that way? It's not easy, right? Like I don't get to do it that much, and it makes me really upset. And then I get pissed. And so I sometimes just have to do Fringe. So I do this weird thing that I've always loved to do, because it just doesn't get to happen that much to me. So my goal, I guess, is to do theater. So the second part of your thing was like, what happens, was something about like, what happens for June?
No, you didn't expect. Yeah, like you go in with this expectation and then oh shit, like this is not what I thought. What were things that surprised you about the June experience?
Yeah, everything, because I'm gonna tell you right now, like there's no way that we could assume to know everything that's gonna happen. None of us are God, and none of us have like the abilities to do so. There's just no way to plan for anything. And so for that, how do you know what's gonna happen to you, the expectations? Your expectations should be to be happy and to expect to work and expect to conquer fears. And I would say that everything that happened, I couldn't have expected, like my friendship with you and Ellen. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have known that was gonna happen. I think that I didn't think that I was gonna, be a board member. I didn't think I was gonna do the scholarship thing. I think that ultimately, I used this as a way to get over like feeling in 2014 like I was invisible and or stagnant in my career. So after the Hollywood Fringe, I didn't feel that way. I felt like I had taken control and power in my hands in a way in which it's very hard to feel. So I think that ultimately, you know, what happened post-Fringe was a feeling of not only achievement, but a knowing of myself and a continued like self-identity confidence that I had put something out there, you know?
Yeah, the self-efficacy is real. And I think if you go in, that's brilliant. Like go in, like knowing the gist, right? You know where Fringe Central is. You know where your venue is. You know that you have already, if you're coming to office hours this side of the room, other side, get on it. You have at least like a small group of people that you've already started to get to know. You started to make people that you can count on. Thank you, Five. And so now just plan on not really knowing for sure what to expect, but it growing and gaining more of that throughout your process. So I'm gonna do one quick, like one sentence answer each, last question, then we'll take questions from our wonderful audience. So y'all, how do you, it's a marathon, not a sprint, you said it best. And how do you take care of yourselves? Because we are human and it is hard. Fringe is hard. It is so emotionally, mentally, physically exhausting. I mean, and then your cup gets full, but you fully empty it first. How do you take care of yourself to make sure you're a fully functioning human and don't have to take a month off in July? Or do you? I guess, right?
Yeah, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it earlier that it's okay to say no. Priority number one over your show, over art is yourself. Like you can't do it if you can't do it. So always check in with that, is what I'll say.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't mean to be bad, but I never enjoyed doing Fringe because it was the hardest thing. So I have to be honest, I was beat, like so tired. But somehow I still went to New Friends show, and I was still on Friends Central, or meeting other people, and that kind of helped me, even though I was dead tired. So maybe to have fun in the hardest time, yeah.
It's definitely easier if you have a huge ensemble for so many reasons, right? People will be there, people will get your butts in seats. It's fucking crazy when...
No, this is where we're at.
When you do a solo show, because it is all on you, okay? And it is sucky, sucky, sucky. I will tell you, you have to have compassion for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Have compassion for yourself. Don't overbook yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself. Sleep. I like electrolyte packets, like the Ultima ones. The grape flavor and the raspberry flavor are great. I've gotten IVs. I like yoga. But I have a gravity blanket, and I will turn off every fucking light in my apartment. I will sleep in our gravity blanket and turn my mind off so that when I go to Fringe Central, it is not on, because it's about making authentic connections, but it's about also having, it can be, for any sort of sensitive or empathic person, a lot to take in. It's exhausting, but beautiful. So I think you are precious with yourself and your energy. You are compassionate with yourself, and you will also start to know your own boundaries if you haven't thought about that yet. It can be a learning experience. So clear your palettes, clear your calendars, try and not take anything on, say no to people unless say no to people if you can.
100%, yeah, like really dive in and try to allow yourself space to do that, so that you can dive in without killing yourself. I will say check in on each other too, like yes, these are all important things. And then for maybe you do have a big ensemble cast, check your team's capacity. Make sure you're asking them questions. I'm gonna be very honest in this moment, where Ellen and I check each other's, because I don't check my own, and Ellen is not good at checking her own. And so it's good to have an accountability buddy on your team, or maybe just a fellow solo artist. If you are doing this on your own, finding people at office hours who are also doing it on their own, so that they are checking in on you and you are checking in on them. And it's a simple question. Ellen, how's your capacity today? Is there anything I can take off your plate? Right. And because sometimes it's I'm able to take something off because you know what? I am killing it today. My to-do list just got wiped. I got nothing. You know what, friend? I can do that for you. You need your dry cleaning picked up. I got you. And then they're going to come in when you need it. But it's also about you being able to recognize that I'm not doing okay today, and I need to take some time to take a bath, take a nap, watch a shitty show on Netflix because I just
love
need.
them shitty shows
I
on
do.
Netflix.
I know. This is how Ellen makes me recoup because I won't relax otherwise. So know that check in on each other too. It's just as important because we're all doing this together. All right.
I have a good tip.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's frozen meals.
Oh, the ones in my freezer that you bought.
Frozen meals because you're going to be so busy and you're going to want something hot at the end.
Taco Bell.
Taco, yeah. But when you're just like.
She said Trader Joe's frozen meals.
Crap all day, and so then you come home and you have like a nice Indian meal, or you have like their nice it's so great. And then my second one is 5-minute meditations inside private stall bathrooms, because you're around a lot of people, and I get overwhelmed and I have anxiety, and so I'll turn on literally a soundscape and just sit in this private stall bathroom for a minute.
Yeah. But it works.
And then I'm fine, and I can keep fringing all day.
Yeah.
Because it's fun and it's worth it.
I know that Fringe Central is that space too. At night, it is going to have a bar in it. It is going to become a little more nightlifey at night, but not compared to it's not a club. It's not that kind of a bar space. So you don't have to buy anything. You can come. We know that like we're saying here, you're going to see show after show after show on some days, and you maybe have an hour and a half to kill, and you don't want to go spend money somewhere else. Fringe Central doesn't have to be a place you have to come and spend money. Come and just hang out, grab a seat, and relax and enjoy it. Okay, I'm going to take questions now, and I know we're probably going to run 1 or 2 minutes over if that's okay, because we started a little late. I saw a hand up over here first, is that right? Please introduce yourself and your show title so you can start marketing and getting your show title in people's minds.
Show is Patient 13. I've never done a fringe anywhere. What is Fringe Central exactly?
That's a great question. Yeah, so I want to answer the question. Everyone joining digitally is what is Fringe Central? What is this thing we keep talking about? Great question. It's like Fringe Cheers. So we open up a pop-up social bar space only during the festival. We're not bar runners and venue runners all year round. Who can afford that? But we're working with 905 Cole. It is a theater and has a beautiful parking lot where we set up out of a beer garden. So during the month of June, Friday through Sunday, that is your home now. We set that up so it is a place for all Fringe all the time, and you have a space to go to in between shows or to network, to do everything you're doing at office hours at a space in June. So Friday through Sunday. Sorry? 905 Cole. Yeah. And it's also where all of our scholarship shows are housed this year as well, so it'll be a poppin' little space. All right, so a question over here. Yes?
Yes, you said there was a press event. Do you know the date of it? And my name is Nancy, and my show is Sister from Another Planet.
Thank you, Nancy. Great question. Not yet. We're going to announce that soon. So in the next couple of question for people joining digitally, when is the press event at Fringe Central? Keep an eye out. I'm going to probably say 2 to 3 weeks. We're probably going to announce those right before June really kicks off, maybe 2 weeks.
Fringe Central all gets announced at once.
Yeah.
But basically, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to programming that's either going to be impacting your future or career, or just a fun hang with your fellow artists. So it's you kind of jump between those hoops a lot.
Yeah.
Alan, can you run up there and jump on mic, please?
Oh.
Just sit next to her.
Oh.
I can't hear you. Just give her the mic. Yeah.
Basically, yeah, Friday through Sunday, there's going to be different events going on. Keep an eye on social, and then in our newsletter, we'll send out a full schedule of all of the events coming up so that you can put those directly into your calendars. That's a great question. All right, next question. Did I see a hand over here? No? Oh.
I just want to say something. First of all, thank you so much. You've reminded me why I want to do Fringe and why I left the theatre in the first place. Thank you. What I wanted to say is, there's no point if we're not thriving through this and learning how to do that. So I just wanted to quickly just share this one tip. In the center of your palm is your kidneys. Your kidneys when you're anxious, when you're stressed. Your adrenals are on top. That's why you can't calm down. Even though you know you want to, you can't do it. If you take your thumb, just rub it, press it, breathe. Tell your body, I got you. You can relax. You don't have to get too technical. That pressure is central to bringing every system in your body down in 5 minutes. So that's a really great tip to have as an artist. It's not worth it if we die in the process.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna see people walking around Hollywood now. Just yeah. I know. Thank you for that. What's your show?
I'm Aria. I'm Aria. Artist of the Divine. My show is I Am the Daughter of Oshun.
Thank you, Aria. All right. I think maybe we have time for one more question digitally. No. Great. Yes.
I was going to say something when we were talking about care and food and everything. I live in this area, and there's actually hi, I'm Barry Briscoe, and my show is Love is a Battlefield, and it's going to be at the Limbic Theater, just up on the same road as
where are we?
same road, right up the street from Friend Central, same road right there, right a block up the road from here. But I live in this area, and there is good food here, even though it's just like a Taco Bell and a Jack in the Box on the corner. There's a vegan restaurant down across from CVS, but then there's also a beautiful, there's a little complex inside of Fountain and Vine. There is an amazing vegan restaurant. There's an amazing vegan ice cream restaurant in there. There is pizza. There is, I'm going to get that one. Yeah, that's a good one. There's Japanese, there's ramen, there's a great Thai food restaurant in there, and there's also a great Cuban restaurant in there. And then right around the corner here, just up from the Three Clubs venue, is the Vine Street Cafe, and then also another amazing Mexican restaurant. But the Vine Street Cafe is one of the best restaurants in this area, so you can eat.
Thank you, Barry. I know that we'll have a hotspot program, so as a registered participant, if you're the primary producer, you get a free button, and that's going to give you discounts on all local, like we have a list of local businesses, because we're trying to, we want to engage in the community at large, right? We love Hollywood. We want to make sure we are activating Hollywood beyond just the venues. And so you're going to get discounts with those fringe buttons. It's like $1 off at the Plunge, which opens at 5 if you're looking to grab a drink after this. So $1 off drinks at the Plunge, $1 off drinks at 3 Clubs. There's a 15% off St. Felix or 10% off Eat This Cafe, and that list is still growing. So we're going to try to make it a little more affordable. And then, of course, Fringe Central will also have food trucks most nights, if not all, I believe all this year. So there's going to be, and we try to go at least healthy options most of the time, so you can get your greens in. Oh, we're going to have those. They've been ordered. Probably the last 2 weeks of office hours, so the last 2 weeks of May, we're going to have those available for pickup at office hours. Yeah.
And at Fringe Central, you can pick them up anytime.
The buttons. Sorry, Haverty, we're all over the place. And thank you to Haverty for dealing with our all over the place nature. Yeah, we're stressed in Tech Week too, And
our lovely sign lady.
And thank you so much for making this accessible. Thank you, panelists, for sharing your wisdom, and thank y'all for being here. If you're new, welcome to the family. We're happy to have you. Fringe on! 7 minutes over, not horrible. Not horrible.